Hello, we're going to do a review today on an iPad Air or the iPad 5 clamshell keyboard. This is the Aerb IBK-60. IBK-60. This particular case keyboard combination comes in black, gold, or as you see here today, in silver. Now I'd like to show you a few things about this keyboard before I actually place my tablet in there. Now the first thing that you'll notice, this is the top cover, this is the bottom cover. You'll see a line that runs across here. The actual keyboard is detachable from the back mount, and it's a little stiff right now, but you see a line right here and a release lever there, and you can release the keyboard back like that. It's not the easiest thing to do, but this allows you the freedom of actually, say, play a game or something like that. You don't want the keyboard attached, and there is a reason for that, and we'll get into that as we move along. Let's take a look at the actual keyboard. It is folding. You can see there, you see this circular pattern here. If I flip it over, you'll actually see it flip out. If I pull this back, you'll see that you can rotate 360 degrees your tablet. You can see that from the other side here. There's a 360 degree rotation. Also, you'll notice that every time I touch this, you have a little bit of a wobble. As you have your your tablet in there, you'll also experience that. You'll notice that as you touch something, it'll shimmy a little. It's not my preference, and I don't think it'll be yours either. However, for the price, that is $36 on Amazon right now, and it's the Aerb IBK-60 keyboard case. It's a clamshell style. It is made of ABS plastic throughout. The components, whether it be the back, the hinge, the arm, the pivoting mechanism, or the clamshell shell itself, is all made of plastic, ABS plastic. On the actual keyboard, you'll see you have a standard keyboard. Your features and benefits here. You have your on and off here. You have your connect. You'll see 3 LEDs here. The first LED, this one here, that one is for your syncing. That shows that your Bluetooth is working when you first sync it, and you'll connect it there with your connecting button. Here is your caps on. This is something we don't normally see on keyboards. If you have your cap locked on, it will tell you it's locked on. And then you have an LED light for your battery indication. Now that light only comes on when you're nearing the expiry of your battery, when it's about to run out on you. When you look at the profile, you'll notice it's tapered in the front. And it's got a nice smooth edge around the outsides. And you'll also notice that there's rubber pads here, 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 and here. That is for when the tablet is placed in here, so that the actual screen of your tablet doesn't come in contact with the plastic or the keys. When I got this one out of the box, these two were loose in the box. I had to reconnect them. They had come loose. Now, to place your tablet in, the first thing I want to tell you is that it does not work with an iPad 1 through 4. It will only work with the iPad 5, or better known as the Air. Take your keyboard, set it in the bottom, snap it all the way around, and voila, it is in. If we unlock our tablet, we'll go to something we can, let's go to notes. It'll take a second to recognize that it's not going to recognize anything because I've actually turned it off. So there you go. You see you got your B's, you got your backspace, your cap lock. Now I have all capitals, and you'll see that your LED is illuminated here with my big pudgy fingers in the way. The backspace button's a very nice feature. You got your page up, page down, in and home, your function buttons, all your standard alt buttons. Nothing negative about that. Actually, for the price of this keyboard case, it's actually very reasonable at $36. We'll be looking at a few others later on that are much more. You'll see, if you just pay attention, if I touch my keyboard, if I move my screen around, you'll see it wobbling. That does not go away. You cannot stiffen that. Also, I thought possibly if you took and you brought your tablet in and set it there, that it might hold, and it stiffens it up. Now that's the best you're going to get right there. Is it stiffens it up, and but when you first pull it out, it's going to want to be loose. And you'll see that the hinge is back here, and it's pulling down. You've got to push your tablet forward and then kind of lift a little bit to get it to sit perfectly right back there. Once you do that, you're in a pretty good situation. Now, the reason that they give you the option of pulling away from the keyboard is that removing your iPad from this shell is extremely challenging. For some people, it may seem impossible. Once it's locked in there, your iPad, if you're familiar with your iPad, you'll notice there's a small lip right here. It's almost not noticeable unless you're using a fingernail there. Well, what this does is this grabs into that little lip, and that's why the shell has to be so thin, as it just gets in there and it just grabs it just around the whole perimeter. So to get it out, I accidentally hit the button there, but to get it out, you actually have to pry away that lip. And you can see I'm having a very difficult time. And that's not the way we would want to do it. But that is how it has to be done in order to get it out. So that's not something you're going to want to do, or nor am I, every time I want to remove my my tablet from the docking station. I'm sorry, not docking station, but the keyboard. So I found, even myself, I am using the little release button, popping that back out, okay? And I think you'll find that you'll do that too. It doesn't add much weight. The overall additional weight is just a hair under a pound. When I was using it and I had it in my hands, I was playing a game and moving around just fine. I didn't find that the back was, or the hinge, because it's this plate and this piece here, I did not find that that was too inconvenient to have that in my hands. So you may or you may not, that's going to be a personal preference. Also here we have, as far as charge, it does use a lithium ion battery. Gives you about 80 hours of type time. As far as standby time, you have about 70 days of standby time. If you're like me, you don't often turn off your keyboard. I did for the sake of the demonstration, but normally I don't turn it off. I'll just leave it on, close it up, and when I need to recharge it, I will. Over on the side here, you'll see you have a micro USB. I don't know if I showed that clear enough, but there's a micro USB there to charge. They do give you one with it. As far as the sleep and awake functions of the keyboard combination, this is what it looks like when it's closed. You can see you have access to your audio, your sound, your power on, your power off. You have access to your camera, your lock and your volume up, your volume down, your sound over here, and you also have access to your charger. I did not have any difficulty applying my charger with the clam on, and I don't believe you will either. Now, when you open it up, it will wake your tablet up, and when you close it, it will put it to sleep. No matter how many rotations I made, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, it went to sleep and it woke up every time. So I don't think you're going to have much difficulty with that. The sleep and awake magnets do their job. They do it every time. Uses Bluetooth 3. I have not had any connectivity issues so far. And that does not mean that it will not develop one, but presently there is none noted. In the reviews that I read, no one either had any connectivity issues. Again, that doesn't mean that one won't develop, because the iPad Air is still fairly new. A lot of the cases and keyboard combinations are new also. So keep that in mind. Pros, it is a good looking keyboard. It's a little odd looking when it's closed. I mean, obviously, you know, that front isn't closed here like the sides are. So that gives it a little bit of an odd look. However, I like it because it allows me to open it easy. The hinge back here makes it stick out a little farther. The arm and the pivoting point back here all make it look just a little bit odd, but I still like it. I like the color. I like that you can get it in black, you can get it in silver, and the gold is pretty sharp looking. So keep that in mind. Those are some of the pros. Again, the sleep and the wake functions work as they should. The recharge time is pretty short, about 4 hours. It'll go from 0 to fully charged in right about 4 hours. Everything operated as it was supposed to. The battery indicator shows when it gets low. That's a nice feature, one that I recommend. The cap lock feature, when your cap lock is on, being able to have an indicator for that, that's also a very good benefit. Priced, I mean, it's priced really very reasonable, and I can't say enough about how reasonably priced it is. It is very reasonably priced. As far as everyday use, I have some concerns. I've read some reviews, and of all the reviews that I've read, only one had any issues with the hinge mechanism, this part back here, the arm. Okay, so you can take a look at that. They said that it broke on them. Now, whether they were rough on it or not, we can't know. What I can tell you is that, in my own opinion, where the arm comes up to the pivoting point right here, I think it's very, very weak. The pin that goes through on both sides is very small. And because I feel everything jiggle as I touch it, I am a little concerned that may not hold. Also, I'm a little concerned about the rotation mechanism here. The arm is wide enough this way, but it is fairly thin. It's reinforced on the outer and the inner edges, but on the inside it's a little thinner. I don't know if you can actually see that. There's a lip here, and a lip here, and a lip here, and that gives it a little more strength. But I think if you were careless with it or dropped it, I'm certain that it would probably break on you. Maybe not the first or second time, but it would break eventually, especially in this point here, where there is no reinforcement. So that is a concern of mine, and I would consider that a con. Also, the fact that my keyboard gyrates all the time, that would be a concern. That is a concern of mine. And as I bring some more of the keyboard combinations for review, we should have some more coming in Monday. Today is Friday, so next week early we'll have a few more reviews. We'll look at the differences between them. But I don't like that, and I know I've come up with a way to resolve that. But not everybody wants their screen at a 90-degree angle. And that's near a 90 right there. I personally want access to my buttons. I want to see my light indicator, which I cannot do in this position. I cannot release it, so I do have to pivot my screen up and out of the way. As far as the rotation, I find that fairly impractical myself. It's just impractical for me. I don't want it moving. I just don't want it moving at all. And I could not figure out how to keep it from doing that, because it will not lock behind these rubber retainers or bumpers because of the angle, okay? Because it's angled too sharply and the contour doesn't allow it to grab. So that I didn't like. You know, it's one of those give and takes. Now, I don't like that the release mechanism here is all plastic. I don't know how long that's going to hold up. You'll see there are tabs here and here, and that gets locked in when you actually slide it in. And this, when you pull your pin back, it pulls out and allows it to release. The other thing I didn't care for about this tablet is how tightly it holds on to your tablet. Now, hey, I understand. I don't want my tablet going anywhere either. I want my tablet to be really tight in here. Our Kindle at home, our HDX, we have the clamshell case for that, and it's magnetic, and if you're not careful, it'll fall out of there. So I do appreciate that the manufacturer secured it, but they should have come up with a way to release it easily, which they have not. So if you can find a way to release it easy for you, or if you have one or are going to get one, let me know. Write us and let us know how you got it off there easy. Because I like taking my tablet off, and I don't want to keep it in the keyboard all the time. Games are especially challenging with that. Again, this is the Aerb, A-E-R-B, the Aerb IBK-06, available from Amazon for $36. It is a very reasonable priced, feature-rich tablet cover and keyboard. Again, iPad 5 Air only. This is a thumbs up. In spite of the cons, it is still a thumbs up. Thank you very much.